We had a quick interaction yesterday here at the conference at Boston University, and you mentioned, I guess what I would describe it as a food manifestation of Italian nativism.
That's a good way to put it.
And
yes.
could just tell me, because I thought it was really interesting, because I asked you about polenta and Lent season.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So when you had asked me about that, it had reminded me of some of what is seen as more of a traditional Italian food culture and how that is often put into dialogue with immigrant cultures in Italy. One way where you see it, specifically with polenta, as you had brought up, is with Lega Nord, and that is basically a neo-fascist political group, although they would certainly characterize themselves as simply very far right. They have put out posters that say very simply, yes couscous and no polenta. Sorry.
Give us the Italian version and translate it for us.
Yeah, so it's no couscous, si, polenta si, couscous no.
Okay.
So very, very simple. And actually, as an interesting side note, the graphics for these posters are extremely simple. So it's just all capital letters, si and no. You certainly don't need a whole lot of Italian in order to understand that, which means that also North African immigrants who would probably speak some form of Arabic coming in, or French, would be able to at least understand these posters. So it's interesting in that it's unclear to me exactly what the audience would be for these posters.
Does it have traction? There's policy so that if one is Italian and seen eating couscous, it's like you feel less Italian. I mean, do they have that much influence? This political movement.
It is interesting, and it is important in that it points to the way that nationality is conceived for food. And that taking Brillat Savarin's aphorism to its extreme, what you eat being what you are, and also what you aren't. And the fact that they're using two grains that, to be honest, are very simple. They're both staples, and they're both prepared in practically the same way. These two foods are much more alike than they are different. And then using that as a exemplar for the other versus the self. It's a very interesting way to see how nationality is playing out through one food that is the national and one food that is not, when in fact they're practically the same.